tell you how we can have abundant life. Okay.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Okay. My presentation is Lovers of Fun and Vessels of True Joy. And when I was trying to think of something, kind of a slogan for that, the slogan that I thought of from Field of Dreams is build it and they will come. And if you build it, they will come. And hopefully that'll make sense as I go through my presentation. In going through the scrapbooks, the story that Mom told in her scrapbook that best illustrates this nation characteristic is about our great aunt Rebecca and the parties that she would have in her farm under her grove. She had this huge grove of trees. These parties seemed huge. Lots of family, lots of neighbors. Anyone in the vicinity was welcome at these parties. They would set up tables, like 40 to 50 feet of tables. They would be piled with food. Everyone would be food. There would be games and laughter for most of the day. It wasn't just a 1 or 2 hour thing. It lasted all day long. She described one party, which, as she remembers, she said there was this huge pile of 40 or 50 watermelon. That everyone brought watermelon, this huge pile. In the fall, they would rake leaves into huge piles, and all the children would see who could jump and make the biggest mess with the leaves. So they would all go and jump in piles of leaves, just scattering them everywhere. And what joy the family possessed, and what joy and fun our family had, they always shared it with neighbors. It never was just for us, it was always shared. And I tried to remember some of the fun that I had growing up in this family. And I remember Uncle Wilmer, our great Uncle Wilmer, our dear Uncle Wilmer. I remember learning to dance the polka with him. He would come over in our den on Tulane, and I was the worst dancer. I'm still the worst dancer, but boy, can I polka. He taught me how to polka, and we would dance all around the house, and everyone would dance. I also remember Friday night boxing on TV. It was black and white TV. Color was not invented then. And he would come over, and I would watch boxing with him and my dad, and they would bet on it. That would be my Sunday school money. And I always wanted to bet with them. Oh, that boxer. No, that one's going to win, and I always wanted to be in on the bet. And what was important about that fun to me is that, one, Uncle Wilmer was a widower. His wife had passed. Having him as part of our family, it strengthened that relationship. And in my childish mind, he was part of our immediate family. He wasn't my great uncle, he was my uncle. And to me, he was much more a part of our family than my other aunts and uncles or cousins, because we had fun together and I saw him all the time. And that was what was important about having fun, strengthening and building that relationship. I also remember the huge holiday spreads that we would have. And I remember my sister's friends and their boyfriends and international students and families who didn't have any place to go to come over and share in the holiday spreads. I especially remember Kay's boyfriends. She had some boyfriends that just loved to come over and just, even if nobody else was there, they would just hang, just to enjoy. Just to enjoy the love and fun and the relationships that they had with our family. And it was with the family. It just wasn't with Kay, or it just wasn't with Alice, or it just wasn't with Cheryl. They became part of the joining in of our family. One of my favorite memories is the spring flings that we would have with our nieces and nephews. So, younger generation, ask your parents about spring flings. We would have spring flings, and Mom and I would plan for those forever. We didn't have the Easter Bunny. We didn't have that. To us, Easter was about Christ coming off the cross and raising from the dead. It wasn't Easter Bunny stuff. But we wanted the celebration. So we would do spring fling Easter egg hunts. We would do spring fling luncheons. So we had the fun as well as the remembering of what Jesus had done for us on Easter. So why is this so important? Why is being a lover of fun and being a vessel of true joy so important? We all have fun, don't we? We all have fun. But the purpose is not just to have fun. Just having fun can become very hollow. It can be a very hollow purpose, and many people these days ache with hollowness. They have fun here, the next thing you know, they are chasing the other fun, the next fun. Then they're chasing a bigger fun. Then they're chasing more fun. We share our true joy and being lover of fun to show others that Jesus is real, and he can be real in an authentic environment. We can do that. We can show Jesus to people in this environment without ever having to mention the word Jesus, without ever having to mention the word God, without ever having to mention church. We just have to strengthen those relationships and build community. And community is with real, touchable people like we are here. Community is not social media. Community is not a community on the phone. That's a hollow community. A real community is what people all over, no matter their age, are longing for, whether they know it or not. And the reason why I call this Build It and They Will Come is because I have experienced that over and over. I love to have parties. I love to have fun. I love to have, at our old house, at Rusty's and my old house, we would have huge parties that people would just show up, they'd come. But I wanted to tell you about one that I had just a week ago. I had a pizza, poker, Pinot, and Pilsner party. And only 3 people RSVP'd. And so I thought, oh, no one's going to show up. No one told me they were going to come. And I was worried there was only going to be a few people. And of course, I always do an overabundance of food and all that. Well, the day before, someone I didn't even know called and said, oh, my friend told me about this party. Can I come? And of course, sure. And then another friend who did RSVP called and said, oh, I have this friend who's just in from Houston, and she's here by herself. Can she come? And I said, sure, just bring them all. And then more people came than I ever expected. Some were invited, some were not invited, some just thought it sounded like fun, and it was so much fun. But build it and they will come. So build it and you will build your community. I thought of the wedding feast where the groom sent his servants to gather the poor, the lonely, and the marginalized. And I thought of that feast and how build it and they will come, and they came. And then I started thinking about our neighbors, and they may not be poor, lonely, or marginalized, but they may be hollow. They may be hollow inside. So how better to start a relationship with them than having fun together? Having fun will build that relationship. Those of you who are going to college, you will need to build a community of friends. And start by having fun with others. Start by having fun. And all what I have to do is look at Morgan's Instagram account on her posts. And I can tell she has built a great community as a lover of fun and a vessel of joy. So like Aunt Rebecca and her growth parties, community is the extended family like we are here. We, the 4 of us, the 8 of us, whoever, we love each and every one of you. And we want you to know at a deep, authentic level that you are part of your community. So we are here for you. And sure, we can sit around and we can have deep intellectual conversation, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that is only one aspect of a person. If one is shy or doesn't know how to enter into a conversation or intimidated, we may not get to know them that well during that kind of situation. But the best and least stressful way to connect and communicate and to strengthen our relationships and our familial community is to have fun and laugh together. So if you want to know someone really deeply, push them in the pond. Push them in the stream. See what they come out like, So go out this reunion, carry on the precepts of the nation family, and have fun these 3 days. That's it. Yes.